Imperial Stormtrooper's injured, FX7. I'll save him.
From Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately.
Chewbacca's hurt, too.
FX7 has 8 movable arms.
The medical droid did it. You saved me, Rebel Soldier. Why? When the Force is with you, your duty is to do good.
FX7, Rebel Soldier, Imperial Stormtrooper, and Chewbacca. Action figures each sold separately. From Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection. From Kenner.
Hello, welcome back to Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. I hope you had a good Christmas. I've got one question. Did it snow? No? It might do soon. There's a storm coming, Annie. Anyway, this time of year, it certainly does get you thinking about snow. And I know if it does snow, you'd be all getting your AT-ATs and your snow speeders out and taking those cracking pictures of the Battle of Hoth. So today I thought I'd talk about something that barely featured in The Empire Strikes Back. But the Snowtrooper action figure was a major part of the original toy line, and it was one of my favourite action figures from the Empire Strikes Back line. Basically, these guys were regular stormtroopers that were knitted out in extra battle gear to withstand the freezing temperatures of the ice planet Hoth. But rather than falling down dead every time a laser shot went near them, like the regular troopers did, these soldiers seemed to be ultra-tough commandos, like the SAS of the Imperial Forces, apart from a few that was taken out by the Millennium Falcon's underbelly gun as he escaped from the Hoth Echo Base hangar bay. I don't recall any other Snowtroopers actually getting killed. During their fleeting appearances, they were either ripping through the command base with military position, just hanging around menacingly behind Darth Vader, or in the cab of an AT-AT walker. By my crude stopwatch timing, I'd say they appeared on screen for no more than 28 seconds, and certainly they spoke no words at all in the film. Yet thankfully, much to my delight, Kenner and Palitoy went on to make these troopers a major part of the original Empire Strikes Back toy range. The Imperial Stormtrooper, Hoth Battle Gear, was the name given to the action figure card back, and it was released as part of the first wave of the 10 figures for the Empire Strikes Back in 1980. In the movie, the Stormtroopers don't have their own vehicle as such, but the toy line, they appeared on the box art for no fewer than 10 different vehicles and playset releases between 1980 and 1983. These included the AT-AT, Scoutwalker vehicle, Turret and Probot playset, Imperial Attack Base, and the Hoth Ice Planet Adventure set, the one with the cardboard AT-AT backdrop. In the United States, they also appeared in the Imperial Cruiser, a D-spec'd Empire Strikes Back version of the Imperial Troop Transporter, and one of the earliest Star Wars vehicle releases. On the smaller mini-rig vehicles, they're featured on the boxes of the MTV-7, the INT 4, the ISP-6, bizarrely on a hot sand backdrop, and with their own tripod laser cannon. Compare this to Boba Fett's 4 appearances on vehicle boxes, although granted he did have his own spaceship for one of them. Even the regular Stormtroopers, who were in all of the movies, only made 12 appearances on the vehicle box artwork. Collecting the vintage Stormtrooper action figures largely depends on how much kudos you place on owning different variants of the same figure. If one version suffices, then you should be looking for a nice white and clean figure with good black paint details. The figure has a half-length cape, not an apron, attached to the belt area, and carries a blue 2-handled rifle. The original capes are often missing or damaged, where the holes for attaching it are ripped. For the variant collector, there is a surprising amount to look for. The country of origin on the rear of the left leg will either be Hong Kong or China, or it will have no country and have been smoothed out on the original mould, generally leaving a shallow scar area. The Hong Kong versions are most common in the UK. The Hong Kong stamp can either be found on the back of the left boot or more commonly on the left upper leg. There are also plenty of made in China versions available in the UK. The stamp again appears on the upper left leg, but the word China is printed in a raised bar area. A cool variation of the made in China versions is a figure that has a different face mask, which appears a one-slit eye shield rather than 2 separate eye slits. Collectors often refer to this as a mono-eye version, and it's due to slight variations in the Kenner moulds used by each country. The capes for both Hong Kong and China figures are smooth on the inside and slightly coarser, with a tiny waffle pattern on the outer, producing that zipping sound when you run your fingernail across it. The holes for attaching the cape in the figure are slits with tiny holes on each side. The versions with no country of origin on the legs are often referred to as European versions and hark from later production runs around 1982. A variant out of Spain is known as the PBP version, PBP being the licensee in Spain for Star Wars toys, performing the same function as Palitoy did in the UK. The PBP Snowtroopers are made from a slightly different plastic to the others. This gives the figure a harder torso, and as such has more defined lines and detail. Over the years, these have generally stayed whiter and been less susceptible to turning creamy and yellow coloured. The capes on the PBP versions are smooth on both sides, no zip effect, and the attachment holes are perfectly round, as opposed to the slit versions of the Hong Kong and China. The country of origin is normally a faint scarred area caused by the Kenner mould having the country name filled in prior to production. The forerunner to PBP in Spain was POC. The Snowtrooper POC, produced in 1881, are a hybrid of the Hong Kong and the China versions, in that they have the mono eye of the China variant, but retain a Hong Kong stamp on the leg. The POC versions are made from a powder plastic and can be identified today by the limbs, which have a pinkish hue with brown spotting occurring and badly yellowed torsos. A variant of course, but sadly recognised more for its faults than its qualities. In Germany, the children's comic YPS gave away Snowtrooper figures free with issue number 510 in August 1984. This was basically a PBP Snowtrooper, but the variation factor here came with the weapon. As while many of the free figures came with a standard blue rifle, it seems the majority of them came with a black gun resembling a NATO SA-80 rifle. These were actually from the Palitoy Action Force figure range, and have been available in Action Force weapon packs. Not surprisingly, this variant is known as a YPS Snowtrooper, and commands a price of over £100 today. A final legitimate version to mention is the one produced by Glasslight in Brazil. Glasslight attained the Star Wars license in 1988, long after the toys had fallen out of favour in Europe and the US, and produced a small range of figures. You might have heard of the infamous Vlix figure that Glasslight produced from the Droids TV series, and I have done a video on that. The Glasslight Snowtrooper has no cape. The country of origin is a smoothed over bump, as opposed to the indented scar, and the rifle is a much lighter blue. A cool variant for completionists, this version also commands prices of over £100 with the weapon. If you want to go down the vintage bootleg route, then look out for the Turkish-produced Star Wars Uzay Blue Snowtrooper that they call Blue Stars for some strange reason. In Brazil, prior to Glasslight getting the license, a firm called Model Trem produced handmade lead and resin Star Wars figures in the early 80s, one of which was the Snowtrooper. A fine bootleg for sure, and if you can find one with a dealer, it will set you back several £100s. One final thing to look out for, there are two different variations of the blue rifle, each using slightly different moulds. It is worth trying to get at least one of each if you are putting a collection of Snowtroopers together. I hope you enjoyed that little look at the Snowtrooper figure. Let me know if you have a focus, maybe not on the Snowtrooper or on a different figure, let me know. I want to know about your focuses. It's really interesting because then you're known in your community as the Snowtrooper guy, the Han Solo guy. So when we actually see something in the shops, or actually see something on eBay or online or anything like that, we think of that person. So what guy are you? I think I'm getting to be known as the Princess Leia guy at the moment. And my collection is certainly turning into that. Rest in peace, Carrie. Gone 4 years today. But never forgotten. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. May the toys be with you.